And we're live! Hello, all, and welcome. And I'm the Realist Philosopher, and this is the Realist Philosopher Show. So, how y'all doing today? Hope you're all doing good, fine, and well. I'm doing all right. I'm happy. It's the end of the week. Of course, for me, that doesn't mean very much, but I have less work on the weekend. It's not nil, but it's less. So I'm happy about that. Maybe it's a kind of Pavlovian response, that we've been trained to have throughout our lives. When Friday comes, woo, yeah. For me, it doesn't mean very much, but I'm still happy anyway. But I'm kind of happy all the time, so I guess that's kind of a moot point. So how are you? Oh, man, I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to do another episode of crazy shit. Crazy shit. I know I did one on Monday. So you might be thinking, logically speaking, he'll do another one on Monday. No. I follow no pattern. It's about how I feel. And if you don't like it, too fucking bad. Fuck off. Oh, boy. But yeah, I'm in the mood. I'm in the mood to talk about some of this crazy shit that has been going on. The stories that are so crazy that essentially I can't talk about them with the more moderate stuff. Now all the stories I talk about are kind of crazy, kind of nutty. The new normal, which is supposed to be, well, normal now. No, it's wacky shit. But it's not at the uber level that this shit is. And mixing the moderate, low-key, wacky stuff with the uber, just horrifically crazy shit, it wouldn't work. Wouldn't work. So this stuff deserves its own fucking episode. So here we go. All right, story number one. Oh, boy. I'm just going to jump right into it. No preamble or nothing. Well, I guess I just gave you a little preamble, but anyway. Listen to this. This is so crazy. Has anybody ever heard of a NULO? N-U-L-L-O? This has got to be, this is a new thing. Right. Of course. I've never heard of this. This is something new. A NULO. Oh, my God. Has anybody ever heard of this? Please let me know in the comments section. I never heard of a fucking NULO before this. This is so wacky. This like, how is this a thing? And I was like, nah, this can't be real. This has got to be fake. This has got to be some kind of, satirical or some kind of fake post like that NPC Daily, which is just a total parody. No, this is real. Listen to this. So from the Metro, man chopped off his own penis and testicles to boot to become a NULO. So this guy pulled a Varus, but on himself. Really? Oh my God. This is insanity. This is so insane. It's just real. This is true. And it turns out this guy isn't the only one to ever do this. There are other men who have done this. Yeah. Let's see what this freak. He's a freak. Freak. This the only word for this person is freak. Okay? Let's see what he looks like. All right. Let's. So automatically, just looking at him, I know he's gay, right? He's gay. And, you can assume, since he cut off his own schlong, that he's not a pitcher, he's a catcher. If you get my drift. What is that? I guess that fat, ugly broad next to him was his mom. I guess she's a man-hating feminist. Hey, mommy, this is your fault. It might be your fault that he's gay, too. You rewired his fucking head in utero with all your man-hate. Oh my God. Hate yourself. Be more feminine. Well, what's going to happen? He's going to be attracted to dudes if he's more feminine. Good for you, mama. And he's going to hate himself, too. He's going to hate himself so much, he chops off his own schlong. Congratulations. You win Mommy of the Year. Fucking A. What the fuck? So, Trent Gates, age 23, severed his testicles, then removed his removed his manhood with an ultra-sharp ceramic knife. Oh, well, he went about doing it the right way. Ceramic knife, ultra-sharp. Oh, boy, I'm glad he didn't use one of those hobby kits with those little fucking, look like scalpels and shit, but they're metal. No, he used ceramic. Way to go, Trent. After seeing a photo of another famous NULO named Gelding at the age of 15. Oh, my God, Gelding. Now, I'll show you this guy's picture. He's a real deal thing, too. He's some old bear gay guy. Big, giant, fat, ugly gay dude. I guess there's a market for them as well in the gay community. Call them bears. Oh, boy. Trent from Washington, D.C. Big shocker! He's from America! Only used ice water for the first procedure. but performed the second removal. Second removal? What the fuck? Who did this? This is real. He didn't go to a doctor. He did it himself. He's insane. Okay, so we know he's mentally ill. We know this fucking wacky-looking fucking kid has a mental illness. I think we can thank the parents or parent for this, namely the mother. Performed the second removal. Geez, I'm cringing just reading. The second removal after taking regular painkillers. I'm going to take some Tylenol and cut off my dick. Recalling what made him decide to remove his genitalia in his first ever interview, Trent told Metro USA, "It really didn't feel like a part of me." Yeah, I bet, because, uber fucking man-hating rabid feminists like your mama have been telling you how evil men are your whole fucking life. Of course you didn't want to be a man. I want to be a geldie. Then everybody will love me. Me think this boy suffered from a lack of parental affection and approval growing up. Call it a hunch. It's along the lines of being trans, but not quite. Yeah, you're going to tell me this is normal? You're going to tell me this shit is not a mental disorder? Fuck off. I have no desire to be a woman, and yet now I resemble a woman more than I do a man. It's kind of a middle ground in between the two, an androgynous in between, and yet, biologically, genetically, you're still a man. Just a goofy, fucked up, mentally ill man who now doesn't have a cock and will never have kids. Congrats, pinhead. What an idiot. What a fucking maroon. Let's see some other pictures of this genius who cut his own dick off with a fucking ceramic knife. Okay, there's another pic. Yeah, I think he's an ugly kid. He's ugly. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Yeah, how about another? Oh, good Lord. Good Lord. Oh, my. Not good pics at all. And there is gay pride, I guess. Is that at a gay pride event? I don't know. Oh, there's the rainbow flag. Yeah. What is it with the gay pride people? Couldn't they put on suits and ties and march for gay pride? Why is it always some kind of sexual overtones, some kind of sexual theme? You know why? Because all being gay is about sex and easy access. I don't have to do all the work and go through all the drama that I have to do with a broad. Yeah. Bunch of freaks. I came across some pictures when I was in high school online, and I've been that way since. No sense of identity, no grounding, no sense of character, sense of self. So he's easily manipulated. He's very easily influenced. Yet another reason why the global elite leftists want people to grow up without fathers, without intact families. I saw a photo online, and it was like, bam! First photo I saw, that's me. I want to be there someday. Yeah, my whole entire reason for being in this world, it's not to accomplish anything great, not to cure cancer, go to the fucking moon, because we ain't actually been to the moon, despite all that fucking propaganda. I want to be the first man to walk on the moon. I want to be a success. I want to make $1 billion by the age of 30. No. His entire ambition in life is to cut off his dick. What a loser. You're a loser and a freak, too. I think it was a photo of famous Nulo gelding. This is a real thing. Let's take a look at this gelding. He's kind of the grandfather of the community. So he needs to feel like he belongs. He needs a sense of belonging. Again, no strong family structure. No strong sense of belonging, right? And of course, he's white, so you're not allowed in any way, shape, or form organize or feel like you're part of a group, of a collective of your own. But everybody else is allowed to have one. So you're just left to drift out there and easily manipulated. You'll go wherever the fucking wind blows, and guess what? We control the wind. All right, let's see what this gelding dude looks like. Oh, boy. So big, fat, ugly, old dude who cut off his own dick. I remember this guy, by the way. I saw a picture years ago, and I thought it was a joke. I thought it was like photoshopped, and he had all this blood running down his legs, and it had a headline, "I cut off my own dick, and I'm proud of it." I was like, That's not real. That's just fake. That's just some joke picture. No, it's real. Crazy. I feel like I need to belong so badly, and there's so much man-hate in the world that I'm going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I'm going to become part of a marginalized and thereby automatically oppressed community which will give me lots of privileges and brownie points for being a part of that group, and I'll be able to cry victim, and I'll get to have a feeling, a sense of belonging. Trent describes himself as a non-binary person who is sexually attracted to men. You mean a gay man? But he does not like the pronoun they and says he feels more male than female. Not anymore! He says that nulos are different to eunuchs. No, they're not. You cut off your cock and balls, you're a eunuch. That's the meaning of the word. Now, you might want to tell yourself that it means something different because you don't like the word eunuch, because you don't like all of the what you think negative connotations that go along with it. But guess what, Pinhead? You embrace those. Men who were historically castrated to guard female living areas of royal courts and to be able to sing soprano forever because they have their penises removed too. Yeah, you're no threat to women, I guess. Which is why so many women feel safe around gay dudes. The IT worker sliced his testicles off at his apartment and later removed his penis in North Carolina hotel room after meeting a local spotter online who agreed to call an ambulance if he suffered a medical emergency. I would think that medical emergency has already been suffered. You need to be admitted to a fucking loony bin for your own protection. Oh, too late. The law is allowing close family members to get somebody committed because they are close enough to them and, know whether or not they've lost their fucking mind. They've been removed. It's very, very difficult to get somebody committed. So they'll be able to reach the point where they cut off their own cock. Great. I sanitized it all beforehand with alcohol. Yeah. Did you make sure it was over 80%? If the alcohol is not over 80% alcohol, then guess what? It won't work. Yeah. I got a big bottle of fucking 95% medical grade alcohol in my home just in case I get cut or wounded in any way. I know what the fuck I'm doing. You don't, boy, and I wouldn't cut off my dick, by the way. Good Lord, I like my dick. Okay? Why would I want to cut a part of myself off? It can only be self-hatred. Yeah, you say, I had no infection. I went to the hospital right after. Did they tell you were a whack job? Did they put you in a fucking rubber room? If they didn't, they should have. I honestly didn't have a problem with the pain. Oh, you trooper, you. I used a little bit of numbing agent, a little bit of lidocaine on it, and took 5 milligrams of oxycodone. Saying that's an over-the-counter fucking painkiller is... It's kind of an exaggeration. I mean, you need a fucking prescription. Oxycodone, isn't that a narcotic? 5 milligrams. I bet you were flying, baby. I bet you didn't feel too much. That they prescribed me when I did my balls to take the edge off. See, he sees these parts of himself as nothing more than disposable, just like he is seen as nothing more than a disposable commodity by society. But not anymore. I got no balls to make testosterone anymore. It really wasn't that painful. Recalling the aftermath, I had the same surgeon both times. It was 16. I was 16 hours away from where I did my balls. But what the fuck? Okay. The therapist said he's sane miraculously. What therapist are you seeing? What the fuck? Are these the same therapists who are writing in psychological journals that masculinity is toxic and men need to become more feminine? They're trying to use psychology as essentially a vehicle to push the leftist, feminist, man-hating agenda. Are these shrinks those same shrinks that fucking outline that bullshit paper about toxic masculinity and how shrinks should use their position as shrinks to make men less toxic? I bet he saw one of those. Oh my God, I don't think I can read anymore. And there's a bunch more too. Oh my God. Okay, all right. Trent says the wound where he removed his testicles took a month to heal, while the area where his penis once sat recovered in around 2 to 3 weeks. Oh God. He inserted a catheter for several weeks after removing his penis to ensure there was a hole through which he could urinate. Trent says he enjoys sex even more now that he has no penis or testicles. How does that work? Again, he must be a catcher. He must like it up the bum. He must like it up the bum, I guess. I've actually found that my orgasms have gotten a hell of a lot more intense. You cut off your own cock and balls just so you can have stronger orgasms? That which makes you a man, and by the way, is necessary for your continued health and well-being. You need testosterone, Pinhead. The first time that I had chicks afterwards, I almost passed out and was shaking for hours afterwards. How does that work? What? There's nothing to manipulate. Did he have this kind of orgasm just getting it up the bum? I don't get this. It was that intense of an orgasm. It's kind of weird. I actually do ejaculate, by the way. I do ejaculate. It's essentially the clear pre-cum that's produced by the prostate. This guy is a freak. See, these gay people, their whole lives revolve around sex, having sex, getting more sex with other dudes. Yeah. Trent says his boyfriend fully accepts his modified genitalia. Well, he's the pitcher. What the fuck's he care? He's probably a pitcher, not a catcher, so you got a bum. That's all he cares about. He did not tell his parents about removing his privates until after he'd done so. Parents? They got to live apart. This has got to be a single mother scenario. What's going on here? Either that or the father's a total pussy. And he has not told his 3 younger brothers about the makeshift surgeries. My parents were a little shocked, but accepting. Well, they got no choice now. What if you'd have told them beforehand? Then it got you committed, boy. So my grandparents were shocked, then immediately accepting. This is the problem. They shouldn't be accepting. They should be like, you're out of your fucking mind. We're going to call the shrink. You are not cutting your own cock and balls off. We're going to fucking tie you down to a fucking bed until you come to your senses. Go get the exorcist or the fucking shrink who hasn't been indoctrinated into this leftist mumbo-jumbo bullshit. Oh, that's none of them. I see. Trent also revealed how he kept his penis in the freezer with his mother sparking a family row after throwing it out. See, this is some bizarre shit. Why would he save it in the freezer? That's weird. That's bizarre. He's saving body parts he's cut off himself. In his freezer. Do we have a possible future Hannibal Lecter here? I ate his liver with a nice Chianti and some fava beans. What the fuck? If you hated him so much, what are you doing saving him in the freezer, you idiot? Trent says he has no regrets about becoming a nulo and added that it has helped him overcome crippling depression, which saw him attempt suicide multiple times while at school. How the fuck would having a cock and balls make you depressed, except unless you hate what you are? See, this is all about self-hate. I keep telling people, you got to be real fucking careful. All this demonization of men has led to this, the creation of men who aren't men, or eunuching themselves because society at large has made them feel so marginalized, so hated, that they self-mutilate and cut off their own dicks. Oh my God. He explained, I feel happier. I feel more me. Yeah, because you've been taught your whole life that a cock and balls and being a man, and that which exemplifies being a man makes you evil. And so now that indoctrination has taken hold and you got rid of the very symbol of what makes you a man, yeah, now I feel great. Yeah, because that which was there making me feel so bad is gone. The ideology was making you feel bad and depressed, you idiot. Had nothing to do with who you were and weren't. Of course, now this is who you've been made into by your progressive mommy and daddy who are also accepting of this retardedness. I'm more how I meant to be at heart. I feel more like the me I've always felt I was. I feel like there ought to be a fucking gay musical with this shit. With people who have a problem like me, fuck it. It's not your body, and you shouldn't, don't worry about it. Oh, God. Oh, my God. All right, so, yeah. You see what I meant about crazy stories hitting level 10? And how I can't mix this stuff up with the more moderate shit? Oh, my God. We've reached this crazy fucking point. All right, let's get rid of the bear gay dude, okay? We don't want to look at him no more. Sorry, I left that up so long. I closed the screen out to read the story. I forgot his ugly face that is misleading, that is destroying young men was still there. Unbelievable. Nulo. Yeah, one person can make a difference, all right. For the worst. Now we got a bunch of young men running around with X-Acto knives cutting off their dicks because some old, mentally ill dude did it. He's your grandfather of the movement. Movement. Oh boy. All right. Let's move on. Craziness. Yep. All right. Next. Next story, yet more insanity. Party girl who stabbed a stranger in the head with a stiletto in a random attack on her 21st birthday is let off with, get this, $250 fine. I shit you not. Now, you know, if a man did this, running around stabbing people in the fucking head, life in prison. Life in prison. Wayman? Meh. We'll just give her a fine. She has potential. I don't want to ruin her potential. She could be so much in life. Meaning I've been led to believe that Wayman had been held down and oppressed for a very long time. So for her to be able to achieve, to rise above, and become a doctor, a lawyer, woo! She's so much more deserving of mercy than a man in the same situation. Even if he could be the same thing, it doesn't mean as much, because he ain't a Wayman with a pussy. 25 years for you, $250 fine for you. So, Jasmine Fry used one of her shoes. You would think a shoe couldn't do a lot of damage, but have you seen how small and sharp some of those stiletto heels are? It's like a hammer. It's like one of those war hammers with a little tiny pick on the end. Don't underestimate the damage a woman can do with one of those. Especially when you're dealing with men who have essentially been taught from birth not to fight back or hit a woman. She used one of her shoes to attack stranger Kyle Johns, 19, in Brisbane's Fortitude Valley in the early hours of February 24th. Mr. Johns, get this, and you think, oh, well, it's no big deal if they give her only a $250 fine. She must not have done that much damage. Really? Mr. John's scalp had to be stapled back together after he was left lying barely conscious on the pavement in a pool of his own blood. Can anybody say toxic femininity? Of course, you've never heard about this story. Many people haven't, because the media is not going to pick this type of stuff up. Meanwhile, if some dude had clobbered some broad, it'd be all over the news. Men have to be taught not to be so violent. Like it's a problem for all men. Meanwhile, broad does something like this. It's an individual thing. It's specific to her. It has nothing to do with Doll Wayman. Love the double standard. Oh, boy. So Mr. John Scalp, wow, it was just, ooh, oh, my. All right, I'll show a picture here in a sec. Wow, that's crazy. He was left in a pool of his own blood. Well, yeah. I would imagine there'd be a lot of blood if they had to put his scalp back together. Oh, my God. Wow, some of these stories I come across, what I would call level 10 nuttiness. It's like, gotta take a second to absorb it. Fry pleaded guilty to assault and was given a $250 fine, but no conviction was recorded. What? That's a suspended sentence or something. That's like, wow, that's nothing. That's not a slap on the wrist. You could say it's technically a slap on the wrist because she had to pay $250. Meanwhile, it cost like $15,000 to put his head back together, but oh well. No conviction? So she'd be able to get any job, anywhere, anytime, and if they run a criminal background check, they won't find out that she's an attempted murderer. You might not want to hire her. Can't have any consequences for the Wayman. Before the attack, Fry was filmed advancing towards Mr. Johns, who's 1.95 millimeters tall, as he retreated. Of course, she had no fear because she knew that the system's on her side. She's living in a matriarchy. Don't believe the lies about a patriarchy. That's what they tell you to get you to cut your own balls off and ignore the fact and not even see the fact that the opposite is the case. And don't fight back against some little tiny broad who tries to kill you with a stiletto heel. She took off her shoe and threatened him, asking, "Want my fucking heel through your eyeball, cunt?" Fry had worked as a property manager at real estate agency Ray White before she was fired on Tuesday. Oh, I see. So this wonderful, lovely person who must be brimming with charisma and positivity must just have a bubbly personality. Got fired from a job that mostly has to do with customer service for reasons unknown. Yeah. I wonder why she was fired. So she said in response, it was a drunken act. It was my 21st birthday, and it's not me. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. What do you mean it's not you? Were you possessed by Satan? Did Beelzebub take you over? Or are you somebody that believes in demon possession? Are you like one of these Seventh-day Adventists? Or are you one of these like really, really nutty Christians that goes to those black churches where you've got the fucking pastor or whatever giving exorcisms to people and they're coughing up phlegm and he's telling the people that's the demon? I've forced it out of you and your phlegm? Are you one of those people? Drunken act, what does that mean? By the way, let me tell you something about drunk people, okay? They show you who they really are when they get drunk. You want to see me drunk? This is it. I don't drink, but I have drunk before. I've been drunk, and I don't change. My behavior doesn't change. I'm the most authentic fucking person you're going to meet. I'm one in a fucking million, baby. I really am. I'm the most real, most authentic, most raw, real motherfucker you're ever going to meet. I don't change when I get drunk. I don't act any fucking different. Meanwhile, this broad, the persona that she puts on all day, it's just that, a persona. You'll see the real person when they get liquored up. And the real her tries to kill men with a stiletto. Interesting. Not me. What does that mean, not me? Who hit him over the fucking head? I don't know what that means, it's not me. What does that mean? I love this way people try to lay off responsibility by saying it was the drink. I've never seen a Hennessy bottle pick up a hammer or a stiletto fucking heel and bash somebody in the fucking head. You ever seen a fucking Hennessy bottle with legs and little fucking arms like a fucking T-Rex? Although if it had those little arms, I don't think it could bash anybody very good. But I've never seen that. It was the booze. It wasn't me. Yeah. And of course, people accept this because they'll look for any excuse to give a woman a break. Let's see what the broad looks like. Let's. Oh, I see. Ding, 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 ding. Answer. She's fucking hot. Well, that explains it. She's very attractive. I don't think she'd look that good, by the way, after boozing all night and you wake up next to her with no makeup. Smudged makeup, smudged hair, all the hair's all over the fucking place. Bernie Sanders hair. Yeah, I don't think she'd look too good in the morning. But she looks good there. I think we can surmise what perhaps led to her being given what amounts to even less than a slap on the wrist. I bet you if she had said, Your Honor, I'm short on cash. I can't afford $250. We'll knock it down to $99.95. It's your lucky day. We're giving discounts today on attempted murder. Oh, fuck me. Yeah, she's a good-looking broad. Looks like she's got a nice rack, too. Oh, baby, she's got a push-up bra there and everything. Boy, she's taking advantage of all the assets she's got, man. Yeah, okay. That answers that question. I don't know why I did that. Sure you do. You're a cunt. You called him a cunt, you're the cunt. You're evil. You're not possessed. You're just an evil person, and you need to be in prison to protect society. She'll probably try to kill somebody else, probably your kid. Who knows? She's probably had abortions, too. Yeah. I get off killing babies. Yeah, I mean... I love the red flags here. There's so many red flags. Oh, man, I mean, she's trying to kill some guy. That's a huge red flag. Boy, oh boy. I hope that this stays on the internet for a while. And that anybody that wants to hire her does a Google search and finds that she's an attempted murderer. Although it'll probably be a radical feminist that she's trying to get hired by. And they'll be like, wow, oh boy, hiring you now. I hate men too. I just wish I had the courage to try to kill one with a stiletto heel. So, unbelievable. So I'm devastated, to be honest. If the roles were reversed, would I be getting the same pretty much slap on the wrist, said Mr. The guy that she tried to kill, Mr. Johns. Oh, my God. His mother, Susan, was woken up at 2:29 a.m. and told her son had been attacked, and she feared he could have died. Fry said she has not been out drinking since the attack. I don't know if I believe anything this broad says. But a social media post reportedly showed her with an alcoholic drink in her hand posing with friends before a music festival. See? She's full of shit. Mr. Johns said he's very angry at Fry's punishment. But there's no punishment. While Miss Fries is angry, while her son was beyond angry, recounting the night of the attack on her son, Miss Johns said it was every parent's worst nightmare. Yeah, any of you out there that think that broads are not dangerous, they can't hurt you? Yeah, not with their little fists, maybe, although they can, really. I mean, even a woman can learn how to throw a good punch, right? But They get their hands on a weapon. That's a force multiplier, baby. You think that heel is can't do a lot of damage? Maybe if it's one of those little like floppy fucking heels that you can bend in your hand, right? But if it's a solid wood base, it's like a fucking club or a hammer. It's got that little tiny heel. All that force focused on that one little area. It suddenly becomes like a pickaxe. Yeah. That'll go right through your fucking skull. I saw a video once of some dude taking a stiletto heel and putting it through a 1/4-inch piece of plywood, which is about the same strength as your skull. Don't kid yourself. Broads can be dangerous. They're much more likely to use a weapon, you see, than a man. Ay, ay, ay. So the mother says I arrived panicked in the ER and the ambulance hadn't arrived. I then was told he's been stabbed in the head. Jesus Christ. Now I imagine the worst and spiral. The emotions I experienced in 30 seconds cannot be expressed. Miss Johns posted to Facebook. And what punishment does the perpetrator get? None. I don't know how this is possible. Look at this. He's so fucked up, he's got blood all over his face. Look at this. He's so traumatized, he's got so many blows to the head. It must have inflicted a concussion on him. He must have been seriously concussed because he's like not only covered in blood and his scalp is a mess, but he's literally just out of it. Wow, that's great. That's great. Congratulations, lady. I bet she has no remorse. No remorse at all. Oh, I haven't drunk since. Yeah, they find her in a picture drinking a fucking tequila. Well, get the fuck out of here. She's a psycho. She's a psycho. But, you can't be surprised. Society is teaching women that men are disposable. They have no value. They're evil. They're disposable. They're less valuable than a Wayman. Is it any big surprise that a bunch of these entitled cunts, who, by the way, have also been taught that they'll get off the hook if they do something like this because they've seen other broads do stuff like this and get off the hook? Is it any surprise that stuff like this happens? I don't think so. I don't think so. And we're going to see more cases like this, not less. Yeah, it's going to get worse before it gets better, people. Believe you me. All right, let's move on. Isn't that crazy? Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow. Oh, my God. It's just unbelievable to me. It's a deadly weapon. I mean, does the judge know nothing? Was it a man? Was it a woman? Did they know nothing about stilettos? A lot of these heels are solid platform shoes. They don't bend at all. They can be like a fucking hammer. You ever seen one of those fucking war hammers that's got a little tiny hammerhead on one side and a little pick on the other side, and you think, oh, that don't look too dangerous. It should be big, giant fucking hammer like the one Robert Baratheon used in Game of Thrones. Well, that's nasty. No. The way these hammers and other weapons do damage is via velocity. You see, the faster something moves, the more mass it builds up, okay? Big, giant fucking hammer might actually not inflict as much harm as a much smaller one with a smaller head. That smaller head, by the way, also allows more of that force to be focused on a smaller area. These war hammers with the pick on one end and the tiny little hammer head with 4 prong-like teeth at the edges on the other side, they were made to bust armor. The bust chain armor to dent fucking helms, to give people concussions so that they could then deliver a finishing blow with a dagger or something under the armpit or to the throat or through the eye, lift up the fucking visor, put a fucking dagger through the eye. So, yeah, stiletto, dangerous. It's a deadly weapon. That shit got a $250 fine. Just look at the outcome. Jesus Christ, his scalp was just macerated. They had to fucking staple it back together. Unbelievable. All right, let's move on. This is crazy, too. This is so crazy. I would rate this at a level 8 of craziness, so it didn't reach the full 10. What do you want from me? I can't always find level 10 nutty shit in time for the show. All right. So from Phoenix, Associated Press, more than a dozen states have moved to declare pornography, get this, a public health crisis. Wow. These politicians must be running out of stuff to bitch and moan about or to build a platform on. Yeah. If you elect me, I will... Oh, we're already giving away so much free shit. What else can we do? Boss, we can declare porn a public health emergency. Porn is evil! yes, and it's a public health crisis, raising concerns among some experts who say the label goes too far and carries its own risks. So the Arizona State Senate approved a resolution this week calling for a systemic effort to prevent exposure to porn that's increasingly accessible to younger kids online. Well, prevent exposure to porn for kids. Okay, now I'm not against this, actually. I don't think kids should be looking at porn. I know kids are curious. It's normal for them to root through the fucking drawers or look under the fucking mattress. Hell, my dad had so much porn. He got very creative at hiding it. He would bundle it up into a, like the newspapers used to get into like a little cylindrical thing and shove it in the pockets of his suit jackets and shit in his closet to hide it. Oh, it was almost like a game, I think, for him. See how well he could hide his porn. Again, yeah, it's normal for kids to want to root it out and find it, but they shouldn't really be looking at it, okay? I gotta say. Anyway, that's my view. But especially some of this weird fucking porn. You get all these weird fetishes. You get that scat stuff. People are into shit sex, and there's some bestiality stuff. There's some weird shit out there. I mean, meat and potato sex is the least likely thing you're going to see these days on these online porn sites. Anyway, at least one legislative chamber has adopted a similar resolution in 15 other states. Well, I have no problem with that, but calling it a public health crisis, that is essentially saying it's a health crisis for everybody. Now, when you get beyond the headline, which most people don't, they start getting specific. Oh, no, we're just meaning kids. We're not trying to limit the access of adults to porn. Are we? Yes, are they? Let's see. Give me a sec here. Pouring myself another cup of coffee. Okay. Got to be real careful because this thermos is some fucking awesome thermos. It could sit 2, 3, 4 hours and the coffee would be still the same temperature almost, which is like the whole point, obviously. They didn't work that good when I was a kid. Hour later, it'd be lukewarm. Gotta love technology, huh? So, yeah. It's an epidemic in our society. See, first you're talking about kids. Now you're saying it's a problem for everybody. Make up your mind, bitch. See, this is what they do. This is what they do. They always use kids to try and pass their agendas. They say it's a problem that's directly related to children, that has something to do with children. And of course, we want to protect children. So then they use our concern for kids to pass these agendas, to pass these laws that apply to adults too. It's an epidemic, and this makes a statement that we have a problem, said Arizona Senator Sylvia Allen, woman, of course, a Republican who blamed pornography for probably why she has no husband, for contributing to violence against women. There's no evidence for that. That's made up. That's a talking point of the left. That's a talking point of your feminist, your gender studies classes. It's very interesting. These same kind of feminists argue that you should be allowed to be a whore, your body, your choice. I see. So prostitution, okay. Pornography, bad. It's interesting how their logic has no consistency. Oh, but it's not really logic. Yeah, you could say it's their logic, but it's not actual logic. Anyway, Aristotle's spinning in his fucking grave. Oh, boy. If he has a grave, if there's anything left of him by now. So, yeah, contributing to violence against women. This is the same bullshit they did with fucking video games that had violence. First shooter games make people more likely to go out and shoot people. Then they did some studies and found that was a lie. This is all lies. This is lies. There's no evidence for that. They just make this shit up. Sounds good. Objectification of women equals violence against women. You come to that conclusion how? Any evidence? No. Yeah, she blames it for contributing to violence to women, sexual activity among teens, and unintended pregnancies. Isn't it the exact opposite? I mean, if you're constantly whacking off, you're not going to be as likely to go bang some broad, right? I don't get this. You jerk off when you don't have the alternative of banging a broad. Why would watching porn make you more likely to bang? It actually makes you less likely to go out and bang. Well, she has no cock, so she don't know. Ay. Oh, yeah, I'm sure she's never watched porn. The resolution that passed Monday doesn't ban pornography, but it's going in that direction, or create any other legal changes, but it could signal future action. Of course it does. Of course it does. They progress things inch by inch. They don't make some kind of radical proposal to ban porn outright. Then they know they'll get so much pushback that they won't have any luck getting anything in that arena passed. So what do? Inch by inch. First with kids, but we're going to use people's concerns with kids to get some kind of laws passed that affect adults as well, and then little by little we're going to take your rights away. Until there's no porn, you can't watch porn, porn is evil, porn is illegal everywhere. Yeah. Okay. Similar declarations have passed in GOP-controlled states, ranging from Tennessee to Montana, and been adopted in the Republican Party's national platform. Yeah, like these are real Republicans. Some of them are, by the way. Some of these conservative pinheads have a problem with porn. Bible-thumping morons. Many of the resolutions are based on a model written by the National Center on Sexual Exploitation, an anti-porn group that cites research linking it to a range of problems and argues that it becomes too ubiquitous for individuals to combat alone. Of course you argue that. By the way, why does it need to be combated? And what range of problems? Could you tell me? I bet I could shoot down most of them. And the rest, that's personal choice. Food has a lot of problems too. Food has a whole range of problems. Does that mean you should be able to control what I eat? Well, they kind of already try, right? Soda tax. Soda taxes, junk food taxes, put calorie counts on foods to shame you away from picking certain foods in a fast food restaurant. Yeah. Too hot. God damn it. Burnt my tongue. All right, so this is so dumb. It's about personal choice. There's lots of things out there that can harm me, by the way, and I would argue that food, using this logic, well, food is one of the most harmful things of all. What kills more people than cars and cancer and AIDS and everything else and guns too? Food! Being too fucking fat leads to diabetes, heart disease. I mean, being fat kills more people than all that other stuff combined. Yeah, but we're going to focus on porn, right? Porn is a big problem. It's a national health crisis. I don't know anybody that it's killed. Meanwhile, food, overeating, fucking every piece of food you get has corn syrup in it. I don't taste anything sweet. Yeah, but it's loaded with corn syrup that fucks you up good and leads to cancer. But let's focus on porn that's never killed anybody. Yeah, I see. Yeah, well, what do you need to combat this for? Too ubiquitous. These are retarded arguments. There's lots of things that are ubiquitous in this world that cause harm. Trees. People are falling out of trees, and trees are ubiquitous. We should cut down all the trees. Cars. People are crashing cars and killing themselves, killing each other. Holy shit. You know how many people die from fucking car crashes every year? Oh no! Need to combat cars. Let's get rid of cars. This is so stupid. Research has raised questions about the effect of explicit material on young kids. Again, they're fucking... See how they're jumping back and forth? They're trying to use the kids that make you accept and sacrifice your own freedoms. Well, I should have the freedom to watch porn, but if I have the freedom to watch porn, then it's more available to kids too. So maybe I should just give up my freedom and give up my rights. And give up my right to watch whatever the fuck I want, eat whatever the fuck I want, buy whatever gas-guzzling motherfucking car I want, climb whatever fucking tree I want, do whatever the fuck I want. I should give all that up because of the children. Yeah, fuck you. Unbelievable. The resolutions risk creating a stigma. Oh, this is great. Okay, research has raised questions about the effect on kids, but links to other often cited issues like human trafficking are much more tenuous, said Emily Rothman, a community health science professor at Boston University. You see, they want to control you. They want to control you. They want to keep you in the matrix. They want to keep you under their control. They've weaponized women, but a man has to actually get with a woman before that weapon can then be used against him to control him. All right? Can't have porn leading men to not get with women. We got to get that man in there. We got to get him hooked on that Wayman. We got to get him to marry that Wayman so that she can then leave his ass, because feminism has made any relationship between them virtually impossible. And then he's got to pay child support. He's got to pay alimony. And his ass gets kicked out of the fucking house because, she gets the fucking house. And now he's got to pay for 2 households, got to go into massive debt. And you know what the globalists love, don't you? They love debt. It's their drug of choice, baby. And that's how they fucking control you. And we got to get hold of those kids, too. We got to have the kids first, though. First, we got to get the man with the woman so that the kids will be created. Then we got to break them up so we can have access to those kids through public education and the media. And no mommy and daddy to create a strong foundation there to give them a strong sense of self. We will become the new mommy and daddy, while the real mommy and daddy have to work their asses off all fucking day and night to pay the bills because they're not living together anymore. Because we creatively injected cultural Marxism into relationships between men and women and practically every other fucking interaction that exists between humans, and caused all this division and strife. So, hooray for us! Okay. Yeah. Oh, this is great. Porn is like a deadly virus. If you stub your toe, that might be something you can't solve yourself, but that doesn't make it a public health issue, Rothman said. Yeah. Several Arizona Democrats said the state has more important health threats to confront, such as, real health problems. It's just virtue signaling. There's literally no effect. Right. This is nonsense. But the legislation could pave the way for future steps, like keeping publicly funded internet at places like schools and libraries from being used to access porn. Can somebody tell me who's watching porn in a public library? I've never seen anybody watch porn in a public library. And does anybody? I guess homeless people. I guess homeless people use the internet in libraries. They have no other choice, and they have nowhere else to go during the day anyway. So, but are you whacking off? I mean, you watch porn to whack off, all right? I don't think people watch porn to build up some kind of spank bank. I need some material in the spank bank for when I get alone. The spank bank is for actual interactions with the Wayman. I mean, my spank bank is full of, interactions I've had with actual women. My spank bank doesn't comprise, porn that I've watched, and then later when I'm not watching porn, I'm just going to go through it in my head. No, you watch the fucking porn. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. This is so stupid. Yeah. All right. Let's move on, shall we? This is enough of that. All right, final story. This is uber crazy. This is level 10. It might not sound like level 10 because you've heard some of this before, but it is level 10 craziness. Level 10, retard, detached from reality craziness. My kids are never allowed alone in a room with a man. You heard it right. You heard it right. By somebody named Leah McLaren. This is a recent story, May 1st. So I think she's on Facebook and Twitter. So LeahMcLaren. Check her out. Might let her know myself what I think of her crap. I'm aware that my rule is really not fair to the vast majority of men. Yeah, but I don't care about fairness, even though I'm a feminist, and I kind of, I'm always saying that that's what life is all about, fairness. But my parental duty to protect my kids trumps my duty as a feminist. To treat men and women equally in every scenario. Is she aware that 71% of child murders are committed by the mother? Is she aware that women are 4 times more likely to be physically abusive to a child? Sexually as well. No, I wasn't aware of any of that. She's got to be aware of these facts. Well, no, she doesn't actually, right? These leftists live in fucking bubbles. She ain't never used Google to look up anything that would disagree with her life's narrative, which, by the way, was written out for her by somebody else because she can't think for herself and she doesn't want to think for herself. It's much, much easier to go through this life essentially following somebody else's script, which is all these leftists do. They're just NPCs, and the script is their programming. The narrative is the program they follow through life. No one has ever accused me of being an overprotective parent. Well, I am. You don't let your child be alone with a man. You're not just overprotective. I wouldn't say overprotective. I would say deranged. This woman is deranged and stupid. I would say her IQ is maybe 80 to 85 at best. I use hotel babysitting services in random foreign cities. I let my 6-year-old walk alone to the corner store. Are you out of your mind? What the fuck's wrong with you? Don't you imagine there's a lot of men on those fucking streets? Holy shit. I think you're a bad parent. I would have to agree. You're not overprotective at all. You're dumb. I wouldn't let my 6-year-old walk down to the corner store. Are you kidding me? I mean, I'm a realist here. There's a lot of fucking white vans and panel trucks riding around with some wacko nut jobs that have a fucking puppy or say they have a puppy. Yeah, come check out my puppy. Grab you and drive away. Who lets their 6-year-old walk alone to the corner store? You out of your mind? Well, yeah, she is. Once when my youngest was a newborn, I paid the bill in a pizza restaurant and loaded his 2 older brothers into a car, only to have the waitress come running out behind me with a car seat in her arms and a look of pure horror on her face. I think you forgot your baby. I bet she wouldn't have forgot if it was a boy. I mean, if it was a girl, excuse me. So that's a son. Yeah, that's great. That's fucking great. Yeah. Oh, so now she's a horrible parent. Who forgets their kid? Are you out of your mind? What? Jesus, I keep saying that. Wow. I'm going to listen to this broad for parenting advice? She forgets her kids. She lets 6-year-olds walk around on the streets of major cities and go shopping for her to buy milk and shit. Wonderful target, by the way, for a pedophile. Oh, Mother of the Year! To which I replied to the waitress, again? Seriously? So she's forgot her kids before. Single mother. This is a single mother. Hey, that's what's going on here. Single mother, man hater, couldn't keep a man around long enough because, her hatred and distrust of men was such that no man could tolerate her. She must be somewhat attractive, though she managed to attract a man. Well, okay, that's a erroneous assumption, right? One could say that assumptions themselves are erroneous, although oftentimes they're based on some evidence, But, I don't know. Could be an uggo, who knows. But I do have one rule many of my parent friends think is extreme. You have rules? I don't see any rules. You want to walk a mile down to the corner store and get me a big, heavy fucking jug of milk and put it in your little backpack so that you're weighed down so much that somebody tries to get you and throw you in their van, you can't run? Okay, Bobby! Rules? What rules? It's simple, and I enforce it wherever possible, virtually without exception, and intend to do so until my kids are well into their teens. It's this: never alone in a room with a man. I think them being with you is dangerous. You sound more dangerous than any man, unless he's like Ted Bundy or John Wayne Gacy or some shit. Never alone in a room with a male teacher. Well, that's not too much of a problem, because, what is it, like 87% of teachers are female? Or a male doctor. You've got issues. You got issues, sweetheart. You've got serious mental problems. Or a house painter. Does anybody paint their houses anymore? Who hires a house painter? Indoors, anyway. And who has their house painted? Who has houses that get painted anymore? Or a lawyer, or a birthday party clown. Clowns are pretty creepy. Wasn't that fucking John Wayne Gacy a fucking clown? All right, I'll give you a little shrift on that one. I don't care if you're dying of thirst and he's the coolest, nicest soccer coach in the league with a fridge full of ice cold Gatorade. I don't know. I like Gatorade. And by the way, why would that mean you'd have to be alone with the guy to get the Gatorade? I don't understand that analogy. Grab your teammate and then get your drink from the coach's office. I tell my kids I'm honest with them about my rule and the reasons why. What reasons are those? Some men are not to be trusted. That's your reasons? Well, I could have told you that. Some women ain't to be trusted either. Have you seen all these fucking news outlets talking about women raping little boys? No, I haven't either. But if you actually search, you'll find the stories buried. Yeah. And frankly, if the coach is a conscientious guy, which he probably is, he'll know not to invite a kid into the room alone in the first place, unless it's a women coach, right? And then she'll rape your kid. There are exceptions, of course. Oh, there are there? But you just said you won't let your kids be alone with a man. My husband and all my kids' grandfathers and step-grandfather, well, that ought to tell you that not all men are evil. I also bend the rule for a few. You should just let it be that you don't let your kids be alone with anybody who's not a member of your family. Why don't you just have that rule? What is this bullshit about just men? Are you telling me you trust random women to be alone with your kids, but not men? Even though women have a worse track record, they're 4 times more likely to abuse kids. 71% of child murders are women killing the kids. Statistically speaking, you should be much more suspicious of women than men. This is retarded. She's a feminist, of course, so, that goes without saying. All right, so, yeah. Like, well enough that I've observed them over a period of several years and have spent holidays together. Wow, she has a deeply entrenched distrust of men. I wonder where that came from. Possibly her single mommy. I'm calling single mommy raised woman here. Both my brother-in-laws, for instance, get a pass. Oh, how nice of you. And to a couple of my young, good friends' husbands. But beyond that, never alone in a room with a man. Why don't you just say never alone in a room with anybody you don't know who isn't a member of your family? I would have no problem with that. But you singling out men and excluding women? That's retarded. The importance of teaching kids to trust their gut. Think that sounds anxious, hypervigilant? I think it sounds unreasonable because you're excluding women from your lack of trust, which, statistically speaking, they should be the ones you trust the least. Does it sound completely wackadoo? Yeah, I disagree, and here's why. Of all the things we fear and guard against as parents, child sexual abuse. Women abuse children more than men. Sexually, physically. Child sex abuse is, unfortunately, one of the most likely to happen. You've been watching too much news, okay? Your problem is you watch too much news. And the news always talk about the men breaking the law and committing crimes, and they always hide the crimes of the women, or they label them as sex. Yeah, it was only 11, but we call it sex when a woman does it and rape when a man does it. So you're just a pinhead, all right? You're a pinhead NPC who's been programmed to believe this. Unbelievable. Unfortunately, one of the most likely to happen. Yeah, it's most likely to happen with a woman abusing a boy, not the other way around, you moron. That's not being hysterical, but stating a simple fact. It's not a fact. Not about men. What do you mean, what's a fact? I don't know what she's talking about as far as a fact. She's made no specific factual statements here. Child abuse is the most likely thing to happen with a stranger and a child. With a man and a child or a stranger and a child? By the way, I don't even know if that's the case. I don't think that's the case. I think kids are alone with adults all the fucking time or in close proximity to adults a lot of the fucking time. And those adults don't do anything to them, men or women. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. This is so stupid. What's a simple fact? What fact are you stating? You haven't stated anything. I could overwhelm you with terrifying statistics. They're bullshit. But just let me put it this way. How many people do you know who've been kidnapped? I don't know any. They've been kidnapped. What are you talking about? Most people that get kidnapped, they disappear, and you never see them again. But anyway, how many people do I know? She's speaking present tense. Yeah. How many people did I know is what you should have said. None. I don't know any. The truth of the matter is, when you look at the overall population of America, 340 million people, and then you look at the number of kidnappings and sexual assaults, it's actually very low. The odds that your kid is going to be grabbed, snatched off the street, or abused by some random person they're alone with. By the way, where is this scenario that you're going to be alone with some adult who's not your parent? The only place I can think of is a bathroom. Maybe a public fucking bathroom. And by the way, son or daughter, I wouldn't care. If I had a son and I was out with my little son, I would go into the bathroom with him. I'd stand outside the stall. If it was a girl, I'd take her into the male bathroom with me, and she would use the stall in the male bathroom. Somebody complains, they go fuck themselves, all right? So what's the scenario where your kid's going to be alone with some random unknown adult anyway? This is dumb. Now, in light of that number, what number? You gave us no numbers. How many people do you know who've been kidnapped? 0. Now, in light of that number, you mean number 0? Think of all the precautions many of us take in the course of modern life to guard against that admittedly infinitesimally small possibility. I don't have kids, but if I did, I would take precautions. You know why? Because I'm not a moron, and I would take those precautions against everybody. I wouldn't be a sexist scumbag and endanger my kid by saying, oh, the only people who are predators are men, which statistically isn't supported. The women are actually the bigger predators. And but I'm going to go against statistics, but meanwhile say that I'm actually following statistics because, I'm just somebody that does confirmation bias, and I look for information that is essentially reinforces the beliefs I already hold. And thereby, all I do is study lies. I don't learn about the actual truth. So you continue to think that men are somehow the bigger perpetrators of abuse against children. You moron! Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. Stupid. Yeah. Trust their gut. Oh. I wouldn't trust your gut, honey. Sending your 6-year-old out on the streets alone. What is she talking about? She sends your 6-year-old out on the street alone. Fuck me. Unbelievable. I'm thinking of stuff that most of us grew up doing, which is now almost universally viewed as unsafe, such as letting primary school kids walk to school or play in the park unsupervised. I wonder why that is. It couldn't be because of all the low IQ foreigners we're letting into the country that are making everything divisive and destroying everything. No, it couldn't be that. Now compare that extremely small figure of childhood kidnap victims you might know. I know none. To the number of people in your acquaintance who've been sexually abused, molested, or even just interfered with as children. That's a big zero. Assuming the latter number is much higher, consider where and how that abuse happened with a woman. I'm going to go out on a limb here and hazard a guess. I bet it happened alone in a room with a man. I bet you'd be wrong, bitch. Of course, you've never studied any actual numbers. Again, you're a feminist. You were taught feminism first. Men are evil. Men are hateful. Men are abusive. Men are the ones that overwhelmingly commit most of the sexual assault. And then you went and you looked for statistics that essentially bolstered that belief. I did actual research, FBI statistics, local statistics, state statistics, all accumulated, and essentially average numbers come up with, 71% of murders against kids, women. Women are 4 times more likely to abuse children than men. Of course, you could argue, women have custody much more to children than the men do. It's irrelevant. Correlation does not equal causation. You have no evidence that having custody of the children results in more abuse, although you do have the kid there. So, if you want to abuse them, you're more likely to be able to do so. But, again, it's irrelevant. What's the number? Who's doing the most abuse? Who should you trust least? Women. Anyway. Yeah, this woman's an idiot. I bet happened alone in a room with a man. You're wrong. You're wrong. She's just flat out wrong. It's not as easy as we might wish it was to determine when, how, or if our children are safe. What is easy is making a rule regarding your kid's safety and sticking to it. In fact, I found most child-friendly organizations that adhere to my rule already because they're morons and they hate men, whether casually or a matter of formal policy. I should add that I have absolutely no problem with my CARERS, carers, male or female, touching or even cuddling and kissing my children if it's appropriate in the course of their work. Caring for children necessarily involves appropriate touching, ideally in a loving, kind, and affectionate way. So go ahead and touch my kids. What? Just don't do it alone in a room, especially if you're a man. Especially if you're a man! What does that mean? It's more egregious? See, this is where her bias comes in. Why is it more egregious for a man to be alone with a child than a woman? She shows her bias right there. Why should it especially? If a woman does it, I thought you were all about equality, you dumb cunt. You just exposed yourself right there. So it's more egregious if a man does the same thing that a woman does. You are biased. You are fucking biased. Your word cannot be trusted. You just exposed your bias right there, as if you hadn't done it before. But a lot of dumb pinheads with low IQs wouldn't have seen it. But there we see it. Don't do it alone in a room with my child, especially if you're a man, because being a man is a crime. And so being a man, being a crime, doing anything with my child makes it worse because you have a penis. Woman diddles the kid. It's not as bad as if she was a man. Very interesting. Oh, my God. There's a bunch more here, by the way. Wow. This woman feels a real need to just spout out a lot of propaganda from her gut to convince us of her biased point of view. Jesus Christ. I think I'm going to stop it right there, though. I've read enough. She just exposed herself right there. I don't need to read anymore. This is nonsense. Nonsense. The idea that it doesn't even go with the statistics. She didn't quote any statistics. She just said, do this, do that, think about this, think about that, think about the news, think about things you've seen on the news, think about anecdotal experiences in a world that talks way more about the bad shit men do than the bad shit that women do. And then ask yourself, who's doing more bad shit? Based on, just your gut. Yeah, that's the best way to get the truth right. Your gut, your feelings, because she's a leftist. She's a leftist, feminist. They're all about feelings, not about facts. Wonderful. Just wonderful. Unbelievable. These stories are so nutty. Oh, boy. So that's it for this show. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Oh, geez, whoops. I didn't remove the... Yikes. Sorry about that. Those gruesome pictures on the screen. But that's a good example right there. It's a good thing that picture stayed up of that poor guy getting half beaten to death by a woman. I thought that men were the threat, sweetheart. That's just against children. Really? That guy was like twice our fucking size. 1.95 meters tall, and, she beat him down with a fucking stiletto. Yeah. But it's men that we need to worry about more. Especially if it's a man. Some stranger stuck their finger up my kid's ass, but, it's worse if a man did it. Why? Because he has a bigger finger? What? It's so stupid. That is the most retarded statement, and it shows her bias right there, and that she's really the sexist person. Nobody else. She's the sexist. That's very interesting. These leftists, they always end up being the most racist, the most sexist people out there. They're running around accusing everybody else of sexism and racism, and meanwhile, they have all these preconceived notions about people that are wrong and oftentimes sexist and extremely racist, like the bigotry of low expectations that they have for blacks and such. I have to champion you, Blackie. People of color, colored man. Did you ever notice that? Person of color. Colored person. Well, we used to call them coloreds, and before that, Negroes, but that's going out of fashion. So we'll switch it around and call them person of color. Yeah, you don't have the brains and democracy to get ahead on your own, so me, Superior Whitey, is going to champion you for you and help you. Because I have very low expectations in regards to your ability to get ahead. But I'm the racist because I'm saying you should stand on your own 2 feet and stop pretending to be a fucking victim. Because you're not. So let me know what you think in the comments section, and please like and subscribe to my channel. And if you like my content and my very honest approach and appreciate my honesty, please consider donating. I really don't get enough donations, and it's very difficult to continue making this content. I'm a very busy guy. I want to expand. I want to start a second podcast, second channel, expand to 24/7 radio station. It's very expensive stuff, all of it to do. And this is why it's so much more difficult for men to get any traction, why we're still perceived and seen as being horrible, because these feminists, they get all, these leftists, they get all the federal funding they could possibly want. People are donating hand over fist, and they're actually able to come together in some kind of sisterhood. But men don't too much. They don't support each other very much. They like to compete a lot. They like to tear each other down a lot, but there's not a lot of kumbaya, there's not a lot of cooperation going on. And so it's much more difficult for us men to get any traction in regards to making people aware of the truth. Red pilling them to the fact that, hello, we don't live in a patriarchy, okay? We're living in an ever increasingly oppressive matriarchy that is tearing men down, and it's to the detriment of everybody. And that's not the only problem, of course, the only thing I talk about. I am all about destroying and tearing down the regressive left, exposing their double standards, exposing the truth about what they really are and what the consequences will be if we continue to embrace their leftist death cult ideology. And I need your help to wake people up to that. Whether you be a man, whether you be a woman, please consider supporting me, because I guarantee you that all those feminists out there who have so much power and influence, it's because they've gotten so much support from people who think the same way they do. So if you support my message, if you support the truth being spread, waking people up, you got to donate to people like me. So consider doing that. You'll find the links below. I have 2 Patreons. Yeah, you might not like Patreon. What do you want me to do? There's limited options insofar as getting donations. So the first Patreon is Realist Philosopher, that's my monthly, and then The Realist Philosopher, that's a per content piece, and I make 3 content pieces a week for my Patreon, so you could donate 50 cents a piece, that's like $6 a month. You could just donate $6 a month outright to the monthly Patreon. Also, I'm on Gab, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and I'm also doing shows on DLive now. DLive is a semi-new platform, at least it's new to me. where you can stream, and if you get enough followers, you can also upload videos permanently and have a video library there just like you do on YouTube. I guess they're too small right now still and too new a startup to host unlimited video uploads. So, but they did manage to get PewDiePie, and he's doing all his streams there. And if you can also donate to me there, they have a very interesting platform where you essentially buy Bitcoins that I think they're called Lino coins, and then you can donate them to any producers. And also, it's a Bitcoin. It's not a Bitcoin. It's a crypto coin, right? And so that in and of itself can be an investment. You can cash them out and get back your money once they've, maybe gone up in value. And then you can also dole them out to whatever content producers you like. It's totally anonymous. So that's another way you could donate. So you can follow me on DLive, where I'm just called The Realist. You'll find that link in the description as well. So lots of different options if you want to consider supporting my content. I get no monetization from YouTube or anywhere else. So this channel and this show is 100% fan funded. Also, if you want to be on the show, email me at admin@therealistphilosopher.com. That's ADMIN at therealistphilosopher.com. If you have a problem, an issue you want to discuss, an issue, or you want to further explore a subject you don't fully understand and you want to get my take on it, whatever the issue might be, send me an email. We can chat about it. I can have you on the show. Be a lot of fun and might help some other people as well. And that's it. I am the Realist Philosopher, and I wish you a good day. Take care.